The Santa Ynez Band of Chumash Indians waited for nearly 14 years for its 6.9 acres of land to be placed into federal trust. Once it was, the tribe took the first step toward building its long-awaited Chumash Museum and Cultural Center by hiring an architect. But not just any architect. The tribe hired Johnpaul Jones, a renowned architect whose firm, Jones & Jones, has completed more than 650 projects in the Americas, Asia, Europe, Australia, and Africa. Among those projects are many in Indian country. When introducing Johnpaul Jones to the community at a special reception this past fall, Tribal Chairman Vincent Armenta told the crowd, "Who better to help us create an incredible museum than an individual who was a lead designer for the National Museum of the American Indian in Washington, D.C.? And who better to help us create a museum of our dreams than an individual who was recently awarded a National Humanities Award by President Obama?" Johnpaul Jones is a man who has accomplished much in his distinguished 40-year career as an architect. The son of a Welsh-American father and a Choctaw Cherokee mother, he was schooled by his mother's family in their tribe's thought and lifeways while growing up in rural Oklahoma. His design philosophy emerged from his native ancestors, centering around 4 worlds. The first is the natural world.
Everybody says, oh, Native people are attached to the natural world, but they are. They know the dirt, they know the plants, they know the seasons, the stars, they know the solstice and the equinoxes, and they lead a sustainable life. So all of that is part of the natural world.
The second is the animal world. Johnpaul takes into consideration that the earth is something we share with the animals. The third is the spirit world.
Now, it's not church, it's really the spirit of the community, the spirits of the place out there, those rocks. They all have a spirit, and it's finding that and listening to people talk about that and then using it in the design.
The final world is the most important to Johnpaul.
It's the human world that we live in. And the key thing in all of that is the transfer of knowledge. We do that through schools, but it also is through our families and the ancient knowledge from Native people living here a long, long, long time. A lot of it is learned out, walking around in a garden or sitting with your granddaughter or grandson and telling the stories. And so as architects, we try to provide design that really reinforce those 4 worlds.
It was immediately clear that the tribe made the right decision in hiring Johnpaul Jones and his firm.
When we had our meeting yesterday, really tells me that we are heading the right direction to listen to how he gets to the point of actually building the building. It was extremely important. So I think we're all going to be happy with the project. And it's something I think, the whole valley is going to enjoy.
As Johnpaul explains it, designing a museum is a complex series of moves.
And it's like the fingers in a hand. And what it is that you start a lot of different things at the same time. And it's not a straight linear process. We start looking at the site and trying to understand what the site's all about. Then we start trying to do initial work with understanding the culture as best we can. And then we try to spend some time on the program, like how many square feet are there inside and outside and all that stuff. So we start about 4 or 5 things at once, and then we hang the design on those critical things. And then it really represents the people that we're working for.
When all is said and done, the Chumash Museum and Cultural Center will be a special place that will allow the tribe to share its rich cultural heritage with the public.
We're very blessed that we're able to have him design our building. He's going to take the time to understand us and how our people are before he even starts penciling on a paper.
I really like the folks that we've met. That has a lot to do with us being able to accomplish something really special and successful, is the openness and the sharing that we feel from the Chumash people. And I'm sure it's going to be the same thing with the community around here too. Some might be a little worried what's going to happen, but that's the way it was in Washington, D.C. when we were doing the Smithsonian National Museum. They were worried that what are the Indians going to do in the mall in Washington, D.C.? And after a few years, everybody started to calm down, and now they just really love it, what was done. So I think we'll be successful here. The Chumash have a lot to share, a lot of things they've learned over thousands of years.